Hey guys, what's happening? What's cracking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5. Sorry about that earlier, guys. Yeah, I had some microphone issues, and I was obligated to another live stream at 8 o'clock, and I didn't want to, just kind of get through this thing real fast because this deserves a little bit of attention. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and let's see if we got any mods up in here yet. Nope, not yet. We're going to try it though, guys. Are we 5 for 5? Hey, Miss V. Okay. So yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and just get into it, and we'll talk after that. If I am trying to respect everybody's time. So, and I know I've been taking a lot of flack for that, but guys, I'm trying. I promise. So we will get to going there. Hey, Miss V, can you do me a favor? Can you text Tommy and let him know that I'm live, if you would? Never mind, I'll do it. But yeah, guys, so we've had this news come out talking about Beetlejuice, and it's one of the main stars out there that we all talk about. That being said, they've discovered a new form of space weather. I got it, Miss V. Thank you, though. Hey, Joanna. So, guys, it's called a surface mass ejection instead of a coronal mass ejection. And this looks to be really, really powerful stuff. So we'll talk about that here in just a second. But Betelgeuse itself is actually starting to dim. And the way that I understand it, if I'm understanding the science here, that's kind of what they expect to see before it goes supernova. Yeah, so obviously this thing is way far away from us, right? But again, when something that big that we look at all the time, at least astrologists look at this stuff all the time, when we start talking about supernova and all these bigger explosions and all this other stuff, guys, yeah, we pay attention, right? And especially when they say, hey, we discovered something new that's more powerful than a coronal mass ejection, right? So it makes you start to think, is it possible on our sun? Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen on our sun. Don't make no mistake here. I'm not saying that whatsoever, okay? I know I guess what I'm saying here is that as time progresses, and we'll probably never ever see that kind of a thing in our lifetime here. I mean, I'm not saying that's not an outside chance or whatever, but the way that I understand it, it has to go through a big process in order to even be able to do such a thing. And again, yeah, and with Beetlejuice dimming 20%, so we'll get into that in just a second. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a anyway, an update on space weather and what's going on right now, because I'm actually seeing a little bit of something I didn't expect, I guess, if you want to say that. I've got some tools here that are acting just a little strange, and we're going to talk about that, and I think it's real conditions. It's just we haven't seen it like this in a minute, and I'll explain it to you here in just a second. So yeah. So again, guys, we got multiple flaring going on. Now, these things are really, really small flares, but they're still flares nonetheless. So, you got to really pay attention to that, because especially as these sunspots start to sorry, my phone was going off. Sorry about that. As these sunspots start to morph and become Earth facing, because the backside of the sun, once again, has been very active. Okay, we've had quite a few eruptions off the backside, substantial ones, and I've not talked about it because none of it's going to affect us until now, because these same sunspots in the same areas of the sun are now rotating facing Earth. So again, with that being said, we have to pay attention to any kind of flaring. Now, as of late, the main focus we've been on are coronal holes, because that's actually what's been giving us, our space weather. That's what's been affecting us the most. But as you can see here, guys, we had a longer duration flare here, and these are all C-class flares. Nothing to write home about, but when you start getting multiple ones, it does show that the sunspots that are there are fairly unstable, and they are flaring. So if they start to get bigger and start taking on characteristics which are more like a M-class producer or even X-class, I'll definitely bring that to you guys. But for right now, you can see geomagnetism is actually really, really low. That's not, it's not out of the ordinary, by no means. But when we see extended periods of this, we have to start worrying about cosmic rays. So, and cosmic rays, yeah, we talked about that before. Geomagnetism actually helps deflect that, okay? So we need some geomagnetism from the sun that can, space weather from the sun to help our magnetic field stay strong and block these cosmic rays. That's how that works. So it's a balancing act. And when we're out of balance, we all know what happens, right? We fall down. And that's why we have to look at this stuff at all, period. Let me go ahead and refresh that real quick so we can get this back up. This is their forecasting. Now, I find it really, really interesting here, guys, that, this is the 13th, and they're talking about KP numbers. That's what these numbers represent. And the KP is over here. I'll just do this. Right here. Now, they directly correlate with geomagnetic storm levels. That's how they rate these things. So, a 5 on the KP is the first level of stormy. Anything after that, anything before that, it's really not that big of a deal. That's when they really start watching it, when it gets to a 5 on the KP, which is a G1 storm. So, as the KP goes up, so does the geomagnetic storm level, and so does the worsening conditions as far as space weather is concerned, as far as a geomagnetic storm. Just like a thunderstorm warning or what have you, it can, keep moving up, and up, right? Or it can be canceled, which is exactly what we've seen before here. But as you can see here, guys, look, on the 13th, 14th, and 15th, I'm seeing a whole lot of 1s and a whole lot of 2s. That means that they're forecasting the KP to be at a 1 or a 2. That's for 2 or 3 days straight. So when that happens, like I said, when you get extended periods of time to where the KP is that low, especially if it's on the basement floor, like sometimes we'll have readings come in virtually at 0. And for multiple hours or even multiple days it's happened. And it definitely does affect how many cosmic rays get through. I'm not going to go into the cosmic ray conversation here, but just know that that's an important thing to pay attention to. Pilots have to pay attention to it, because as you get closer to our poles, and if you're in the higher altitude you are, the less protection you have from our magnetic field. And that's the whole premise behind that. So taking a look at the sunspots here, we got quite a few of them right here. This one's directly in front of us. These are close enough that if they blow anything off, definitely could come our direction. And you can kind of see smaller ones here starting to develop and rotate in. Right? This one's kind of rotating off. Let me just zoom in. I'm not sure if I can zoom in enough to give you guys a better view. Okay, yeah, that's better. Sorry about that. I should have done that at the beginning. Anyway, so you can see these, right? Now, there's something called the parallax effect. In that, when you look at a sphere, things are going to look like they're smaller than what they are when you look at them on the limb, like over here. So, say this sunspot looks like it's this size right here. When it rotates in, and in actuality, it's actually this size. So, as we're looking at these captures and these imaging, we have to keep that in mind, because things can actually be bigger or even smaller than what we think. We just have to keep in mind when we're looking at this stuff that that's a real thing. The parallax effect is a real thing. You can test that out yourself just by getting a ball, put a little mark on it, like from a magic marker, and back up 30 feet and look at it and see how big it looks to you, and then take that same ball and make it turn like the sun rotates and look at it directly straight on, and I guarantee you it's going to look bigger when it's right in the front. So that's the whole parallax effect. And I know that's pretty basic stuff there, but some people don't understand that or have never even been told that before. So I apologize if that made somebody feel a certain way, but I got to do that kind of stuff because there's people like myself had no idea of this until I started looking into it for myself. And that should let you guys know that everybody here can understand exactly what's going on here, at least at a basic level. Because if I can, I promise you, you can. Yeah, I think this is funny too, guys. I've been taking a lot of flack for not using the English language the correct way. You know what I would say to that? This is what I say. Take your same language that you're speaking right now and go back to like the 15th century in England and see what they say about you. That's all I'll say. You know, languages change as far as how they're spoken and the words that we use. So, just so you know. Hey, Major's in here. I just now look down, flip to the chat. There you go. Hey, I fixed that for you, man. Sorry about that. You know, you were actually on the block list and I didn't even know it. I looked at the block list like 3 times. The 4th time I looked, I seen it. So, and I don't have a very big block list. That's what was strange. So, sorry that happened to you, buddy. I really, yeah. That, you know, had me stressing for a minute because I hate that. I hate that, you know, for whatever reason, even if it was a legit reason, which I don't think it was, because I have no idea why you were even there. I typically will give people multiple chances before I completely just get them out of here. So, anyway, I'm going to show you guys something here as far as what's going on with our space weather conditions. Now, this is the Discover graph, and what you're looking at, I showed this to you guys a bunch, right? So I've got this on, I think it's 1 day. Yeah, this is a 1 day image here. But you see, we're missing some data here. And we don't typically see a whole lot of missing data on the Discover graph here. So it just kind of took me, you know, I stopped for a minute. So, yeah. I hear you, Christine. But, yeah, so you get to BZ, and it's, you know, not even close to -6, okay? So, you know, what would be causing any kind of space weather? Because I've seen something on a couple of the tools that we look at. Well, the phi angle changed. Okay, that's the polarity of the solar wind. We talked about that here before. The solar wind is plasma. It's a charged gas, right? So it has a negative and a positive. So when that polarity changes, because it does, that's called a phi angle flip. That's what this is right here. It'll go from either negative to positive or positive to negative. Now, when it does that, sometimes it can give us a pretty good jerk on our magnetic field. And obviously this one, if you look at the timestamp there, let me, we'll get it to the most current there. It's like 2200, almost 2300 hours. Okay, right at 23. And then it comes back at an hour and 40 minutes later. Okay. And what caused me to even look at this is I actually had this on a 3-day, and I'm going to switch it and show you. I've actually never seen this I didn't know they did this on this graph. So when I'm looking at this, and you've probably already seen it, anybody that's watched me for any length of time, you see this right here? You see how they've made that kind of like an orange, I don't know, like a solid there, instead of all the plot points here? And they did it on the speed, the temperature. The BZ wasn't doing that, but these three were. And so I was like, man, what is that? Well, I figured it out, and it's exactly what I told you guys. It's missing data. That's why they did that. Okay, that's what that represents on the 3-day. So, you know, missing data isn't such a big thing, especially when it's a very short amount of time. You know, now if we start getting missing data on every tool we have, then obviously we have some issues. But for this, I just want to point it out. Now, I forgot to show you this too. I need to do that really, really quick. Okay, on the 3-day, I forgot to mention this. We actually did take a hit back here. We almost got into storm level. Okay, we didn't, but it was real close. I was watching it because, and actually, I was going to do a stream last night for you guys, and like in the middle of the night, and I decided not to because when I had this one pulled up, guys, you know, they're forecasting. I show you guys the forecasting all the time, right? So there was no geomagnetic storm forecasted at all. But I looked up here, and this box here was yellow. And I'm like, well, that means it's a G1 storm. They're forecasting a G1, but it's not showing up down here either. So I'm like wondering, and so I kept watching. Hey, it's the Rebel Gang. Good to see you, Leah. Guys, go check out her channel. Drop your link, would you, please, Leah? Appreciate that. That'd be awesome if you could do that. Guys, she does a prepping game show. It's awesome. Go check it out. She goes over there and well, Marf was on there, Rip was on there. Love you too, Flamin'. And go over there and check her out, guys, because she'll ask some pretty good questions that stump big time preppers. Okay, it's funny to watch. I think it's hysterical. Well, Trinity's been over there too. Trinity Red Pill, Blue Pill. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. I gotta take a breath in between that every time. Hey, Daryl, good to see you from Bloomington. All right, Pamela, good to see you. So, cat back away. I'm really truly trying not to do that. So anyway, guys, yeah, you got some missing data. That's all that is. But then I started looking, and I went over here to this one. This is our Magnetosphere models, right? And actually, I'm just going to do it this way, and you're going to notice really, really fast what I'm talking about. You see that? We took a hit right there. Now, that's high dent. That's high speed. Okay? It's not high density. See that? The red indicates higher speed. And we definitely reacted. We fended that off really, really well. I can tell you that because the bow shock didn't hardly move. Okay? It compressed a little bit, but not like you would expect with a hard hit. Right? So we keep moving, and that was, we had a couple little small ones, and it looks as though we're taking a little bit more space weather right now. Now, please don't get all crazy looking at this one, okay? Because this is going to look all kinds of nuts, and I'll explain. All right? When you come over here, this is the density. That's all it's showing you, is just how dense the particles are. Right? The white color is really, really low density. The darker blues are higher dense particles. Okay? So what you're looking at here is very low density, and this happens when we get extended periods of time of high speed solar wind. Okay, you can think of it almost like a flushing effect, or not even that. Think of it as a man that's aging and his hair's falling off from the front to the back. Okay, it's a constant flow, and it eventually will pull it back enough that it exposes some other stuff, right? So that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing that this density here is very, very small, very, very low because the speed was high. All right, but watch what happens. So you start bouncing around there a little bit. Now check this out. And this is the exact same time I showed you the other hit up there on the speed. This all happens at the same time. Okay? So that's higher dense particles. Now check this out. Watch what happens. You see how it stays now? That's how this works. This is such a beautiful way to show you guys this. Because this is something that we all need to understand. We had low density for a very long time, and then we get hit once, and then we get hit a second time, and now the higher dense particles are here. They're sticking around. Yeah, lift on a wing. Good analogy, Isphere. Good one. Yes. So, low density, you get hit once there, and then bam. Right? And I look for these conditions to continue, higher dense particles. Now, we can go over here on Discover and take a look at it, and you can definitely see what's happening. That all happened when the triangle flipped, and then it flipped back. You see this? It flipped back, and then flipped back again. When this does this off and on like that, sometimes it can put us into storm level. So I was kind of watching that, and if I go back here and look, you can definitely see that it's not. So our magnetic field's handling this really, really well. And that's just what I would say to that. So, but yeah. So let's take, and something else I looked at here was the geoelectric field model. This is, again, the one I talk about all the time. Space weather's effect on our electrical grid, or artificial electrical components. This was put here and made specifically to try to put a a bridge there so they can use space weather in their forecasting models for earthquakes. Okay, it's what this was designed for. Ricky, good to see you. So, as you keep moving here, you're going to see we're going to take a hit. You see that little hit? You'd buzz right by it. That was that one hit I showed you on the other ones. See that? So it affected us just for that short amount of time. Now, if this had been for any other length of time, so that right there is telling me that the phi angle can affect us geoelectrically also. Okay, which I had no doubt that it could. Because anything that can affect us geomagnetically is typically going to be able to affect us geoelectrically also. Okay, because electricity has negative and positive like magnets, and geomagnetism is exactly what it is. Our magnetic field, so it's all playing together, right? They're brothers and sisters out there punching on each other sometimes. But that's that hit. Now, I'm going to show you guys this coronal hole just really quick, because I'm not going to waste much time on it because there's no sense in doing that. But if we go back here to like the 10th, you're going to see a little eruption right here. See that? I'm going to zoom in. I'm sorry, guys. Guys, I had that mic issue earlier and it really threw me off. I mean, my gosh. Had me flustered. I don't know why. I never get like that on these kinds of things. On the tech end of it. Just I knew I had to get the lifeboat going on time, I was trying to do my best there. And I hate it when that happens. I was trying to do something else. Positive thing though there is I had enough time to fix it before we went live over there. So that was a good thing. So anyway, I won't have that problem anymore either because I figured it out. I figured out what was causing it. So anyway, guys, you can see that eruption here. You're welcome, Major. Cool. Glad I did that. I mean, I hope you guys understood all that, because sometimes that can be a little hard to explain and a little hard for people to understand. But anyway, you can see this right here, this eruption here. And it wasn't much. I don't even know if it even made it out. Okay? It looks to me like it could have shot some out, but no, it's not going to affect us, is basically what I'm saying. But check out these darker areas. Remember the parallax effect, because watch what happens. See how this looks pretty small, but as it rotates in, watch what happens. Now, it's growing too, okay? It is getting bigger, but what I'm trying to say is that that's a really good way to show you that, hey, that's the parallax effect in action right there. Now, this thing is rotating in, okay? It's not directly in front of us yet. My guess is we're probably not even connected to it yet. As soon as we do, this is the corona opening up, exposing the surface of the sun. And it lets charged particles, plasma, flow right out. And it comes to us via a magnetic connection line. So that's solar wind. So this is what's been giving us, these holes is what's been giving us a geomagnetic, speak, Mark, speak. Learn how to speak, Use the English language the correct way. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. Coronal holes have been giving us geomagnetic storms. That's what's been giving us our space weather, right? So, that's what you're going to see here. I think this is the next player in what we need to be paying attention to, which this has got me kind of wondering why. Well, I guess it takes about 3 days for that stuff to get here. So what I'm saying, over here on their forecasting at NOAA, I would look for around the 16th or the 17th for them to add some uptick numbers here, because I do think that we're going to have increased solar wind giving us those conditions. Okay, but yeah. Hey, John in the spirit, good to see you. Hey, Pamela. Anybody else I missed? Sorry, bubble wrap still pink. Okay, cool. Back away. Let's see. Yeah, Vulgar gimmicks. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just about 2 seconds, okay? Because this is it is big space weather news, I have to say. So, but that is your space weather update. So let me get into what we were going to talk about with this. Now, I'm not going to go through all of Dr. Phillips' work here, okay? Please, I put a link in my description box. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I can do it again. Anyway, just, if you could, please come over here and give him some love, alright? Because he wrote this article too. And we'll go over that in just a second, just some of it. I'm not going to go over all of it. I'm just going to give you the basics, but I want you guys to really go look at it for yourself. But he talks about this new form of space weather. We all know what a coronal mass ejection is, right? Most of the people here do. If you don't, that's the corona of the sun exploding out into space. It's plasma. When that hits us, we have things called like the Carrington event. That Carrington event knocked out, telegraph lines were catching on fire and everything. Okay, this was back in 1859. It was like an X-39 storm flare. So, and it had a CME with it. But yeah, so the biggest thing here is, okay, astronomers believe that in 2019, a colossal piece of Betelgeuse's surface blew off the star. The mass of the SME, get this, 400 billion times greater than a CME. Did you hear what I just said? 400 billion times greater. That is huge. Okay? That is a big, huge difference. So, again, am I saying our star is ever going to do that? I don't think any of us are ever going to see that. Okay? Betelgeuse is just in a place in its life that, red dwarf, all this stuff, talking about supernova, all these things, and it's dimmed. And this is one of the things that they point to, and I'll take you over here just for a second, but they explain why this is why we need to be looking, because the way I understood the article, and he did a great job writing this, so please go give him some love. Matter of fact, copy, paste, send. There it is in the live chat also. Okay. So what I'm saying, the picture here on the left is what Betelgeuse typically would look like. Over here on the right is what it looks like now. Now he goes in and he starts talking about this in some pretty good depth. He does a really good job with it. But one of the things that stood out to me was that this is a precursor to supernova, pretty much. And if you guys are wondering, now listen, this points to these big time events and what we can expect here on our planet, right? Even with something so far away as Betelgeuse is, we can still see what's going on. And here's what I'm going to the way that it was put is that when Betelgeuse finally does go supernova, it's going to be brighter than our moon in our sky. It will cast shadows on our planet. Okay? If that doesn't just, hey Skywalker, that's right, I'm throwing some Kool-Aid out there to you. So, guys, listen. That just blew my mind when I read that. Now, I know that big events happen in space all the time, but this is one of those that we need to pay, that we can really pay attention to and see stuff like this. Hey Paul. So, yeah. And again, guys, I'm not going to go and read his article to you. Please go over here and read it, please. I know Dr. Phillips would appreciate that. I don't know Dr. Tony Phillips at all. Never talked to him ever. But I love what he does. I love his work. I trust what he's doing here. And, when he goes here and he writes these articles, he definitely does it in a very precise way. And it's done accurately. And it's done in such a way that everybody can understand what he's saying. Okay? If I was to point you guys to like a journal paper, I'll give you an example. Okay? So I'm going to show you one. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. I'm going to show you one. Hold on. Sorry, I wasn't planning on showing it. but it applies, so I'm going to. Okay? Over here, this is Springer. Now this is an abstract. This is what these go into journals, right? So if you were to read this all the way down through there, you're going to start seeing words. They're going to start referencing events that happened that you probably are not even aware of that ever happened in the past. Does anybody know what the MA20 catalog is and why it was added for to the analysis of the DHO MA20 catalogs? They're similar data gaps between 1874 and 1976, but both catalogs are based on the GPR catalog. Let's get some Italian dressing for all the word salad I just threw at you. Okay? So that's my point. I understand exactly what they're saying here, but I don't put it out there to you guys in this way because nobody is going to understand what I'm saying. Okay? And I would never do that to you. Exactly. Words. That's all you can say. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Pires? Good to see you, my brother. Guys, you got to check out Mark too. I shout him out all the time. He's positivity, baby. Awesome music. Very funny. Very funny dude. And he's my brother for sure. So, science words. That's right, Ilea. Ilea, you would love it over here on Pires channel. I know you would. You need to come check out Mark Pires Renaissance Man. If you haven't been over there yet, you need to come check it out when he goes live. It's awesome. Great music. Great music. Just comedy. And he's broke his shows down now, guys. For people that don't know, he's broke it down into different time frames, and he's trying to stay a little bit more focused and a little bit shorter time because we loved each other so much we would stay live for 4 or 5 hours. And it just isn't good for YouTube. YouTube hates it. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah. Okay. Hey, sister. Okay. But this is why I don't read you guys the articles. I explain them to you the way I understand it, and I show you guys the article so you guys can go look at it for yourself. Okay? That's why. And don't ever think that you can't understand this. You are 100% smart enough to understand this. Don't underestimate who and what you are. Hey, Raven. Okay? Please don't. Give yourself some more credit. I know it's sometimes intimidating, but you got questions, ask them. Oh, are you? Okay, cool. Cool. But yeah, guys. Yeah. But they're talking about the X100 flare here. Okay, and I want to point this out one more time because just read the first paragraph of this journal abstract. They're talking about here. Look. The chances of us experiencing an X100 or greater flare in the next 30 years, that's what this is right here, is 70%. Do you guys hear that? That, when I seen that, and I've already shown you guys this, that really kind of just took me back for a second. The Carrington event, guys, was an X39. Alright? So I hope that puts it in perspective. And as these X numbers go up by 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're not just going up the same percentage. They strengthen, the strength of them is so much more each time it goes up. Exponentially grows like that. Okay? That's a 30-year mark. Okay? Go to a 50-year mark, and guess what you get? 76 to 87% chance. Then the 91% chance. In the next 100 years, this article is saying that there is a 99% chance that this is going to happen. You don't get any more for sure about anything when you're talking about science than 99%. Just saying. So people better start paying attention to stuff like this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here telling people to be afraid, because don't fear this crap. Don't. If you fear this stuff, you need to click off and not be afraid, okay? And I'm serious. I don't want nobody being afraid watching what and doing what I'm doing right here. Don't be afraid. Just be aware that it's going to happen. They're saying basically it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we kind of already knew this, but when you break it down into such a small time frame like that, it really does kind of take you back, because now you're seeing it right in your face in black and white. And this isn't just, and I said this before, and please don't think I'm trying to offend other YouTubers, but this is not just Joe Blow YouTuber like myself coming out here saying this. These are respected, educated people writing abstract papers in a journal. This isn't done overnight. Okay? So, yeah. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put this one down here too in the live chat. It was in the video I did about this. It's there too in the description box. So yeah, no fear. Exactly, Pamela. No fear. So, given all we just talked about, and also, you know, Mark's been talking about the 2024, 2025 thing. Guys, that's very real too. Go check it out. I'm going to say this too. Over here. Matter of fact, I think Pastor Paul Begley had a I forget the guy he had on. He was talking about this, and it was very much on point. Look at this. Okay, this is the sunspot numbers. This one right here, it was probably what, a month ago. That was the first month in a very long time that we came close to their predicted values. All right. Now, if you look at this, if you remember, guys, the ones I was showing you prior to, they've adjusted this prediction. They have changed this line. Okay? This was like this. Okay? And I could go back in some of my older videos. You guys can do it too. It's usually right at the front of my videos. They've changed their forecasting because they realized they were wrong. And that's what they should do, okay? Because we got a whole lot of years here to be talking about this, right? But the two scientists that came out and was, you know, and it wasn't just the two, but they wrote articles and did studies on it. They're being proven right that this sun cycle is definitely going to be a little bit more than what they thought it was. Okay? At least so far, that's what we're seeing. And so why I'm saying that is because, you know, the 2024, 2025 thing, the 30-year thing I just showed you guys with the X100 flare, Beetlejuice doing its thing, which probably isn't going to affect us. It's going to be really cool to see. Okay, let's just put that out there like it should be. But there is a new form of space weather that none of us will probably ever experience, which is the surface mass ejection. It was something new that they discovered. So all those things, guys, you know, don't be afraid of it. Just be aware of it and make preparations. Now, I know that the infrastructure we have here on our planet isn't going to be able to handle that. And I'm talking about grid systems and stuff like that, right? So the only thing that we can do is prep up a little bit. I only say a little bit. Prep up to where you think you need to be. Go watch ILEA. Go watch RIP. Go watch anybody else that does this stuff. Alaskan Prepper, he does a good job. There's a lot of people do a lot of good job on the prepping end, okay? Marf, okay? Marfugel, Adam and Dex over there. So just do where you're comfortable, right? But always understand that this stuff is possible. Don't be afraid of it. Just react in a positive way to this kind of stuff. So just got to tell you guys, you know, I can't not say this stuff, right? And I try not to go down this whole road of what causes fear. And I'm not trying to do that. I hope you guys don't get that from me, because if you are, I apologize. It's never my intent. It really isn't. Okay? But yeah, so that's what I would say. And I hope that people just do what they do to make themselves feel comfortable. I can tell you this much. because this is the way our society is today. If we don't look at it, it ain't ever going to happen. Right? Ain't that how we do things? Well, that's not how the world works. That's not how the universe works. Just because we're not looking at it doesn't mean it ain't going to happen. Just because we don't want it to happen doesn't mean it ain't going to happen. So, live your life according however you think you need to. But that is the case. We have gotten to a place, the narrative is no longer, we've got instant gratification with the internet, right? That's one thing. Instant communication, which is actually a positive thing if you think about it, but it gets oftentimes used for negative things. Okay? So, that's all I'm saying. And we got to get past this, ignore it and it'll go away. Now, again, I have to say, you don't have to look at it and put this big large spotlight on it to the point where it's scaring people, right? What I'm talking about here is not good stuff. There's no other way to say what I'm saying without putting some negative annotation to that, right? But that is a good thing in my opinion, because it's going to make you look at something that you might not have. Because, not the whole world isn't talking about this, right? There's a lot of people are now, and it's growing. And that's why I think whenever you see stuff like this come out in mainstream, that should really wake people up a little bit. That they're now talking about it also. So some of the stuff that we talked about, they're most definitely verifying with a lot of their papers, to the point where a lot of the scientists do think this way now. They're changing their opinions. Right? And these people are way more educated than me. I don't have a crystal ball, guys. So I just come out and report what we have, the conditions, show you guys these articles, and hope that you guys do what's best for you. And if you guys got questions where I can help you guys understand what you're looking at as far as these tools, that's my main goal of my channel. I'm not out here to tell you how to think. Okay? I'm not. If you want to be told what to think, you might want to go to your mom and dad's house, because that's what parents do. At least very early on in your life. And as you grow older, my parents don't do that to me now, but we all get that. That's all something that happens to us early in life, because it can't be any other way. But as we grow and as we get further along in what we're doing here, we don't have to be told how to think. We can think for ourselves. Hey, Ron. Hey, guys, go check out Ron over Emergency Management Associates also. Hey, Russell. Good to see you, bud. Russell's got a channel too, guys. Go check it out. No, you're right. Gosh dang it, Aaliyah, you're right. Raising kids is 100% the hardest thing you will ever do, but is also 100% the most gratifying and best thing you will ever do in your life. Okay, and well said. Well said, Andreas. Okay, fear is danger. Okay? When you're in fear, you make bad decisions. So, if I didn't say any of this stuff to you guys, and then something happened, now you're in instantaneous fear. You're going to have knee-jerk reactions that are not going to get you to where you need to be. So, yeah. Your 5-year-old came in on a live stream once and said, "Mom, I have to poop." That is so cool. So that's on point to the conversation too, Leah. Awesome. Awesome stuff, guys. See? You don't have to be negative about this kind of stuff. We can laugh. We can laugh at life. We can laugh at ourselves. We can laugh at situations. We try to find the positivity in everything. And, and I have to point over to my brother Mark Pires, Renaissance man. That's what he does. That's his whole thing. He's been live for, 20, 30 decades now, Mark. Every night. Not missed a night for 1,300 and some odd days now. So, that's what he does. So, he bleeds positivity. And I think all of us need to be trying to do that at some level. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. So, just understand, Jesse. Okay. So, yeah, guys, and I don't want to have this live stream go much further, because people tend not to watch because when it gets real big like that. But I just wanted to bring that to you guys because, you know, and again, they're over on Pastor Bagley's channel. He had I can't remember what the guy's name was, but he was talking about the sunspot thing and the sun activity. I'd go check that out too. It's pretty cool. So just go check everybody out, guys. I mean everybody. Check out. Sorry, I'm flipping through here real quick. Make sure I didn't miss anything. You know, Scott over at Planet X News. Go check his stuff out. Russell, check out Russell's stuff. Check out. Sorry, I had to cough. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything. But yeah, go check them all out, guys. I know Scott hasn't been making very much videos lately. Matter of fact, he ain't made one in a while. So, you know, but I'm sure he'll get back to it. And, yeah, so check everybody out. And everybody I just mentioned right there, they're not going to tell you how to think. Okay? They're going to have different ideas, probably even from one another. Okay? But that's okay. That is okay. Go watch them all and then decide what you think. That's what I say. Right? And I hope that you guys get that. I really, honestly, truly do. And yeah. Yeah, Major, you said it. Positivity bleeds positivity. And obviously, I can't end the show without telling everybody, hey, go check out my my second channel that I help run with Tommy over on the lifeboat. I say that every show, and I'm going to continue. It's my second channel, and I have a big passion for trying to help people that are in addiction, just like my brother Tommy does. And we're helping people over there. A lot of you guys followed me over, and I hope that more do. You know, if somebody could drop that link in there too. It's in my description box, guys. It just is. It's been such a blessing to me to watch other people grow and get past addictions, and not really get past, but learn how to deal with your addictions. Because you're not ever going to get 100% past something like that. It's always going to be something you got to work on. But you don't always have to have it. You don't have to have it controlling your life, is what I'm trying to say. Whether you're in addiction currently, we want you there. If you're drunk, we want you there. We're not going to kick you out. We don't want you being judged. We're not going to judge you. Right? And I know I go back to the Bible with this a lot, but people that are Christians and stuff should understand what I'm getting ready to say here. Jesus didn't go into the house of the saved to save them. He went to the house of the sinner. So how am I going to stand over here on my channel and that's trying to help people with that, with addiction, and trying to get sober through alcoholism, whatever it is in your life, and then you show up in that state? How am I going to tell you to leave? What right do I have to do that? Am I helping you at all? No, matter of fact, if I was to do that, I would be pushing you further down the hole. So we don't do that over there. And you know, and let me tell you something. Mark Pires doesn't do that on his channel. And anybody else's channel that I, you know, will say here, like Ron, he doesn't do that over there either. And I could go on and on and on, guys. Okay, just know that. Exactly. Who are we to judge? Thanks, man. Appreciate you. What's Beetlejuice? It's a star, guys. Sorry, I didn't say that, did I? I'm sorry. I'm trying not to read this article because I don't want to, because I want you guys to go over there and give Dr. Phillips some love. I apologize for that. I thought I said star, but I probably kind of like breezed over it. Hey, Kinley. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate you, man. I really do. Anybody that takes, hey, Kathleen, anybody that takes the time to listen to my hillbilly language and all that stuff, I get it, right? Hey, man, there's Ripper. That's right. That's right. Exactly. You guys need to read that comment Ripper just made, okay? Any channel that tries to tell you what to think or else isn't freedom, it's tyranny. Truth, fear, no scrutiny or questions. Exactly. The truth doesn't fear that. The truth will stand up to that. And that's what I try to tell people. I don't have to sit here and try to tell somebody and defend the truth, because the truth defends itself. If it's the truth, guess what? It's just the truth. It's really that simple. And I know it's hard to implicate in today's world. I get it. I really do. But please understand that. I get so many people that they'll either do channels or do videos or whatever, and they start these big wars with each other, and it just doesn't make any sense to me, because it's not helping anything. It's not helping them. It's not helping us. It's just not. It's not productive. Hey, the guy, what's up? There's just no reason. Okay, Russell's right there. He says, amen. Awesome. But say me and Russell had a different opinion on something. Does that mean I'm going to not love Russell as much as I do right now? No. It would be ridiculous for somebody to sit here and think that people that like each other's company or whatever are going to 100% always agree. It's just not going to happen. So why, when we disagree on one point or the other, do we have to kick each other away? No. And I've explained this before. You know where you're going to find the truth? It's where you take all of us that I just mentioned and anybody else trying to help, and you make the subject you're talking about, you make it a circle. And everybody that I'm talking to right now, we all stand in a circle. You know where you're going to find the truth? It's where those circles overlap. I'm not going to be right all the time, but I could be right some of the time. And if I can accept that out of other people, then maybe we could come to what the actual truth is. And that's kind of the way I look at things. And I really think that we have to be accepting of each other. Now, I'm not saying you need to back down from your views. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that we put it out in a positive way. This is how I believe. If somebody wants to come at me negative, I'll just say, yeah, okay, I don't believe that, and we'll just move on. And if we don't move on, it won't be because of me. It'll be because whoever's attacking me or attacking you guys or whatever wants to continue to go down that negative path. And that's something I'll never do. So, and I think I've proven that here on my channel to you guys. And I have to say, I've made mistakes here too, guys, to the point where I said certain things that I probably shouldn't have said. Didn't happen very often, but I always apologize. Always, 100%. So, don't be too proud. Be humble, and we'll do what we got to do, right? Okay, guys, enough of that. I've been getting ripped for that too. That's why I saved it for the end. I really didn't even have any intention of talking about that, but it is what it is. I love you guys a lot. I really do. There is no question about it, and that's why I keep doing what I'm doing. Please check us out on the Lifeboat. We are going to be live at 8 o'clock Eastern, Saturday, Sunday, this weekend, Monday also, and Tuesday. We're going to be taking off Wednesdays and Thursdays from here on out, but it's always at 8 o'clock. Now, there's going to be those days where Tommy's not there, and there's going to be those days where I'm not there, right? So, but somebody will be there. We try to make that happen. Now, I'm sure there's going to be those times, too, where we have tech issues or something happens and we just can't get a show. But we truly do try to help each other. If you're struggling with addiction, or if you know somebody that is, if you just want to simply learn about stuff like that, please come check us out over there. There's no judgment. There is no wrong question to ask. And if you are fighting addiction, please come over there, and go to, if you need help right now, go, all you got to do is Google it, and it's the national hotlines. You can find somebody. And if you need help with that, email me. Email Tommy. We'll help you, okay? So, that's what I would say. And that's, I have a passion for Spaceweather, guys, and that's why I continue to do this. And I have a passion for helping others that struggle with an opiate addiction. That was me. right? So come check us out. What can it hurt, right? Come check us out. If you don't like it, you know, there's a X up there in the top right corner you can hit. Just saying. Thanks, Kenley. I appreciate you. I really do. You guys really do lift my mood every night. You really do, and that's the same thing that happens over there. The same thing that happens when I go to all these channels that I just said. So, anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, because I am the OG Kool-Aid man, right? Blue Kool-Aid. Drop your link, Mark. Drop your link to your live, okay? Everybody sees it, okay? Back at you, Ron. You can drink this Kool-Aid.